In the south of the Dominican Republic near the Haitian border lies the largest saltwater lake in the Caribbean, Lake Enriquillo. It owes its name to the first hero of the Americas, an Indian chief who fought the Spanish. Located 40 meters below sea level, the lake contains the largest crocodile reserve in the Caribbean. Livio works for the National Parks Administration. Born in the Sierra de la Neiba, overlooking the lake, this former coffee planter has been combing this dry, isolated region for 10 years. His mission is to protect Acutus crocodiles, also known as American crocodiles. They are threatened by several dangers. The high salt content of Lake Enriquillo, twice that of the sea, and also the presence of poachers from Haiti. This morning, Livio goes to the heart of the reserve on Cabritos Island. The island, covered with cactus, shelters a variety of iguana species, including the rhinoceros and the ricordi. Characterized by its stunning blood-red appearance, the ricordi doesn't exist anywhere else in the world and is the object of constant attention. The ricordi is now semi-domesticated and has become the reserve's mascot. Hermogénes is in charge of the organization for which Livio works. The two men enter one of the grottos which border the lake. Once inhabited by Taino Indians, some of these caves contain the remains of Indian culture. Before devoting himself to nature conservation, Hermogénes harvested coffee and led a very rough life. Now he's proud of working for the reserve and sharing his knowledge with Livio. A Taino legend says that in the distant past, women were frogs and men were fruit-eating bats. Hermogénes has spotted an adult crocodile in a dangerous area near the Haitian border, where surveillance is the most difficult. He and his men prepare a trap to catch the Acutus and take him to shelter on the other side of the lake. This very rudimentary technique is similar to that used by the poachers. A few wooden stakes to guide the reptile, an elastic band used as a spring, and a chicken leg as bait. A steel-reinforced knot to be tightened around the animal's head completes the trap. As of sunset, it's essential to pay careful attention, since crocodiles come out to feed mainly at night. In 2 days, Livio will come back to see if the trap worked. Tonight, Hermogénes and his men have to capture some crocodiles, since the veterinarian of the Santo Domingo Zoo will be there tomorrow to take biological samples for laboratory testing. They head for the northwest of Lake Enriquillo, to an area called Los Borbollones, where fresh water is abundant. the reserve lends itself to surprising nocturnal encounters. Although invisible during the day, many animals take advantage of the darkness and the cooler temperature to move around. Like this trapdoor spider, which the men meet on the road.
Ellas se alimentan de noche.
No, preferiblemente, pero mayor de noche que salen. Ya cuando la temperatura está un poco ya.
Ellas siempre caminan de noche.
De día se mantienen.
Mira, allá mira donde hay uno allá. Sí. Un juvenil se alcanza a ver allá en...
Hermogénes explains to Livio that crocodiles are easier to catch after nightfall. The animals, in search of a perfect mixture of fresh and salt water, come to the streams, where they stop for nourishment. During the day, they don't venture out since there's too much activity. Before the age of 1 year, the youngest crocodiles can't reach these briny waters on their own and sometimes die in parts of the lake which are too salty for them. During the mating season, Hermogénes and his men are twice as vigilant and try to save the animals by leading them to the river mouth. This crocodile has come upstream. The clear water should make his capture easier. Hermogénes' steady hand has been capturing crocodiles in this manner for 10 years. Although the animal is young, he's handled with caution since its bite can cause infection. He blindfolds the youngster to keep him calm. The second reptile is older. Hermogénes points out the particularities of the Acutus crocodile to Livio. The reptile is easily recognizable by its pointed mouth. Its skin is a greenish color in some areas. Its dorsal armor is irregular and smaller than that of other species. The most remarkable characteristic, however, is its teeth, which are visible even when the animal's mouth is shut. The lower canines protrude through an opening in the upper jaw. Livio learns a lot from his superior. One day, perhaps, he will replace Hermogénes and share his experience with someone else. Now that they have accomplished their mission, the men are happy to get together again. They can relax to the sound of the merengue before returning to the village of Descubierta. The next morning, Hermogénes pays Livio a visit. Before the veterinarian arrives, the two men take a short pause to drink some excellent a la casa coffee. Although life is hard in this poor region of the country, fortunately the reserve and the presence of crocodiles bring in a little revenue. About 20 men presently work for the National Parks Association.
Muchas gracias, Olivita, por el café, estuvo bastante interesante. Muy bueno.
Me perseguiría todo el
Roberto is the veterinarian of the Santo Domingo Zoo. Every 2 months he comes to check on the crocodile's health. Hermogénes has learned a great deal about these animals thanks to Roberto's visits. The average size of a Lake Enriquillo Acutus is no more than 3 meters, since food is not very abundant. In Central America, they are about 5 meters long. The veterinarian's methods and those used by Hermogénes and his men are complementary. After weighing the animal, Roberto takes a blood sample, which he will analyze at his laboratory in Santo Domingo and compare it with that of other crocodiles in the zoo. An intestine sample is used to detect the presence of bacteria and to prevent a possible epidemic. Roberto identifies the Acutus' sex. It's a macho, a male.
Hasta que quede debajo de ese nucal. Llamamos primer y segundo nucal, ¿no?
He then places an electronic chip under the animal's skin, which will become the crocodile's identity card.
La agarramos bien aquí. Ahora leemos todo el microchip para estar seguro. Uno, dos, tres, seis,
Once the code has been memorized, the animal's progress can be followed for years. In 10 years, thanks to their close cooperation, these men have succeeded in preserving Lake Enriquillo's natural balance. Hermogénes and his team release the crocodile. He will soon be with his brothers and sisters once again. Livio follows the animal for a moment to make certain he makes it to the river mouth quickly. These small, clear-water rivers are an ideal place for poachers. Poverty has forced the Haitian population to feed on wild animals. Fresh water is vital not only for the reptiles, but for the inhabitants of Descubierta as well. In order to struggle against the stifling heat, sulfur water pools have been set up, and into which a young Acutus can sometimes stray. Every Sunday, under the watchful eye of the rhinoceros iguana, the village families all go for a swim. Sunday is also market day on the Haitian side. On the way, Hermogénes and Livio like to revisit their childhood haunts. Once their work on the reserve has borne fruit, they dream of coming back here to live and to buy a coffee plantation on the heights overlooking the lake. After an hour's ride, they leave their car at the Santo Domingo border station. Livio, who was born a few kilometers from here, knows everyone. Entering Haiti is a simple formality. The road ends, and the two men continue on foot. They mingle with the crowd of Haitians who have come from neighboring areas. Prices are very competitive in the market. Rum and coffee are cheaper than they are in the Dominican Republic. Buying Creole products is always a pleasure for Livio and Hermogénes. They appreciate these moments when they can communicate and bargain with the Haitians. Although they live modestly, here they are considered rich compared to the misery in which the local inhabitants live. At dawn the following day, the two men come to check the trap. Rudimentary perhaps, but very effective. The crocodile fell for it. He's a large specimen, very rare for the region. Great care is required to assure the animal's permanent capture. Hermogénes and his men don't come across reptiles this big very often. Armed only with their courage and great patience, it will take some time to completely control the animal.
Sacarle la soga. Ahí está la camisa. Ándale, echarle fuerza. ¿Dónde está el cosa? Vamos a agarrar ese saco. Suéltame ese suelo.
Danger is omnipresent, and the men's movements are hesitant. A poorly tied knot is enough to cause fear throughout the team.
La soga, acuéstala. Abajo, que tenga poca presión.
It's time to take the animal to shelter. on the other side of Isla Cabritos, opposite the Haitian border. If one day the situation in Haiti stabilizes, Hermogénes hopes to reintroduce crocodiles into one of the country's lakes, the Lago Somatre, 10 kilometers west of Lake Enriquillo. It takes at least 2 hours to cross the immense 200 square meter Lake Enriquillo. The men stop at a beach where female acutuses come to lay their eggs. The area is highly protected. Hermogénes uses what's available to mark the crocodile. He makes 2 marks, one for the month and another for the year. This painless operation will make following the animal's progress easier. The skin, however, grows and sometimes covers the markings, making identification impossible.
Atención.
The reptile has been saved. It can return to the water in total freedom. Hermogénes and Livio know that protecting the crocodiles is the only way to open up their region and attract tourists. Thanks to their efforts, the reserve now contains 400 acutuses, but their mission is far from over.